Hello and welcome to this edition of It's Happening in Dublin. I'm Joe Fox. Well, as you can see, we're coming to you today from Scioto Park, which is home to Leather Lips, which you can learn more about with the Dublin Arts Council's cell phone tours. Over the years, the Dublin Arts Council has brought a variety of interesting and beautiful works of art to the city that both intrigue and enchant residents and visitors alike. Recently, the council unveiled a new program known as cell phone tours, which will allow guests to learn more about the artwork they visit by simply picking up their mobile phones.
The cell phone tour has really been developed because our public art program is over 22 years old, and we thought it would be really important for people to be able to call in, listen to the artists, speak about their work, whatever they wanted to tell us about their work. So there are 17 locations where you can call in.
Those locations include many of the city's most celebrated works of art, such as the Field of Corn with Osage orange trees, Leather Lips, Out of Bounds, the simulation of George M. Carr's workshop, as well as several pieces from the council's titration exhibits. When visiting one of the works on the tour, all a guest needs to do is dial the number next to the piece and listen to the artist explain its meaning in his or her own words.
Well, I think it's an unusual project, first of all, and I just think it brings the voice of the artist to an image, and it's really critical in terms of all the public art that we're offering. You know, not only the large commission pieces, but also the on-loan pieces. So you can come upon a piece, you'll see a phone number, and you'll be able to call in and find out more about the artwork.
Those at the Dublin Arts Council hope that residents and visitors will take part in the cell phone tours and in turn learn more about those precious works of art they already know and love.
Well, first of all, you can take a trek, see some wonderful parks in Dublin, all the green space, and it gives you a sense of the importance of public art, the quality of life, and the public value of art in Dublin.
For more information on the Dublin Arts Council or to see the full list of works on the tour, log on to dublinarts.org. And now here's the latest edition of Dublin, Ohio, Places to Go. The historic Dublin area just got a little bit more fashionable, thanks in large part to its newest business, Boho 72. Owned and operated by Dublin resident Jamie Molwitz, this trendy spot recently opened its doors to the public.
Oh, I've lived in Dublin for 24 years, and my children grew up here, went to school here, and I come from a family of business owners. So it took me a while. I thought about it for a long time and decided to do it. I just decided if I didn't do it now, I would probably never do it. And I loved the idea of being 5 minutes away from my home. A lot of the items in the gift room are handmade, some by local people, but all, USA made. And a lot of the apparel is just really fun, casual. Probably my main customer, or average customer I should say, is probably between 30 and 65. My mom's 77, she wears my stuff. And I have high school girls that come in.
Boho 72 boasts an impressive collection of clothing, jewelry, and other items that are as beautiful as the boutique itself. And so far, those who have visited the store have been impressed with all it has to offer.
My pricing, which has been really well received, is what I call moderate to upper moderate, and I have pricing that starts probably around $30 and goes up, trying to keep really everything under $100. So I would say my average is probably actually about 50. So that's, I think, a unique thing for a boutique. I've had a lot of women that come in and they say, wow, I didn't think I could afford to buy anything in here, and I'm so glad that you have prices that I can afford. So that's been wonderful, wonderful feedback for me. And I guess what would be unique to my store is that the handmade things, the handmade pillows, the handmade candles, soaps, artwork, paintings.
Like many businesses in historic Dublin, Boho 72 benefits from being in an extremely walkable area, and each and every day guests stop in to browse and purchase its unique merchandise. Those who work at the shop hope more and more guests will pay them a visit and see for themselves what everyone is talking about.
I love this location. I think it's fantastic. It's growing. Obviously, more people are thinking the same thing because there are a lot of little businesses that are popping up right now. So that's really awesome. And I get a lot of walk-ins because of the restaurants. It's just been a win-win.
For more information on Boho 72, log on to boho72.com. And now here's Economic Development Manager Colleen Gilger to give you some information about some upcoming segments that will highlight some city businesses.
Hi, I'm Colleen Gilger, the Economic Development Manager for the City of Dublin. On future episodes of It's Happening in Dublin, I'll be taking you behind the scenes to learn more about some of Dublin's most intriguing and dynamic businesses. But first, I'd like to introduce you to NVIDIA. They're single-handedly changing the face of cancer research.
Founded in the early 80s, NeoProbe, or NVIDIA as it is known today, is a biomedical company that has been changing how cancer is treated for years, and in doing so has brought a great deal of attention to the city of Dublin. NVIDIA's main focus as a company has always been to enhance oncology patient care and to improve patient outcomes through radiopharmaceutical product development. In its early days, the company was comprised of just a handful of doctors who had an idea that would change the world.
Back in 1983-84, Dr. Thurston and a couple of colleagues from OSU put their heads together and tried to come up with a better way to treat colon rectal patients for colon cancer. And they developed what is rig scan technology and a sensitive gamma detection probe.
And the idea was that they would find a drug that would seek out and attach to cancer, and that they would find a way to find that drug during surgery, those cancer cells during surgery that would otherwise be missed. And the method they came up with was to make that drug radioactive and to use a Geiger counter during surgery to help them identify tissue that might otherwise have been missed during conventional techniques. Dr. Thurston developed the first gamma probe that we used using 3/4-inch copper pipe and so forth from Roush Hardware right down the street. So a lot of this is it really has a local flavor to it, and we're very proud of what that device has become, a leader in the industry, and where this technology has taken us today.
Throughout the years, NVIDIA continued its work developing and manufacturing medical devices that aid in treatment of a variety of cancers. Today, the company is in the final stages of FDA approval for a drug it developed that will truly be a game changer in the world of cancer treatment, a drug called LymphoSeek.
LymphoSeek, as we have reported in our public announcements, is a drug that NeoProbe has been developing for some time, since certainly 2004 and 2005. It is a very unique drug. It is a unique drug to the extent that it is really a designer drug. That is, it is a computer design drug. And so as such, all of the attributes that could be embodied in a drug like that, for example, targeting, it is in fact the only targeted drug, receptor targeted drug of its kind.
LymphoSeek is a new drug that's obviously very exciting for us, and we think transformative for the company. It is a drug that's used in a procedure, intended to be used in a procedure called lymphatic mapping, or ILM, which is a procedure that's intended to identify the draining lymph node that cancer might be draining to. If you know somebody that has breast cancer or melanoma, for example, about 80% of those cancers tend to drain to the lymphatic system as opposed to the blood system. And the old standard of care used to be to take about a softball-sized mass of tissue out of the armpit or the axilla on the side of the body that the tumor was in, and to look for the lymph node that might be draining from that tumor. We don't know which one it is, so we have to take out a very large mass of tissue to figure that out. Well, about 15 years ago, surgeons started developing this technique called lymphatic mapping, whereby they could use a drug that's radioactive to identify the first draining lymph node or two. And instead of then removing the softball, we use that handheld Geiger counter similar to the NeoProbe GDS system to identify those first node or nodes that's draining to, so we take out a couple of grapes instead of taking out a softball. And we get, with about a 95% degree of accuracy, the same answer that we would get by removing that softball-sized mass of tissue. So we've really helped improve the procedure by the advent of this drug and the procedure itself. Our drug is intended to replace a current drug that's used in the procedure that doesn't have the same performance advantages that LymphoSeek has. It clears faster, it works It binds to the lymphatic tissue so it doesn't travel through the lymph nodes and just helps create a more accurate and better procedure overall.
Because of the hard work of its staff and the fact that it is changing the face of cancer treatment as we know it, NVIDIA is truly one of the city's most intriguing and dynamic companies. And many within the city are proud that NVIDIA will continue to call Dublin home well into the future.
Well, I think, especially coming from a healthcare perspective, we're fortunate to have a company that's so cutting edge right here in our own community, making such great advances in the healthcare industry.
The entrepreneurship, how they started here in the community, using the businesses in the area, and then grew to where they are, and they're still keeping their company here and basically enriching our lives. It's always fun to find companies that are not only making strides here in Dublin, but also getting recognition nationally and internationally. And I think NeoProbe is one of those companies that has brought recognition to us all over.
Well, even though it is surprisingly nice for this time of year, many residents are still heading over to the Dublin Community Recreation Center to get into shape. And 411 Fit is helping them do just that. In this day and age, many throughout the country are striving to lead healthier lives, and the people of Dublin are no exception. This past year, the city and a number of partners developed the Healthy Dublin program in order to ensure the overall health of residents and staff. Many who participate in Healthy Dublin are utilizing one of its most helpful tools to aid them in their quest toward overall fitness. That tool is known as 411 Fit.
Well, 411 Fit is a website that we use in conjunction with Healthy Dublin, and it's an interactive tool that is used to track your nutrition goals, your exercise progress, your biometrics, your weight, your body mass index. It can be used for a variety of things, and it really is a great tool to use for tracking and then reporting on the information that you enter.
When it comes to eating healthy, 411 Fit aids users in a variety of ways, including allowing them to learn nutritional facts about what they are eating and helping them to plan healthier meals.
So if you're interested in plugging in your nutritional information, you can plug it in by meal, you can plug it in by serving, you can plug it in by snack, and it brings up a whole list of foods. If you want to specifically tailor them, you can enter it in. Say you have a breakfast sandwich from Panera. You can type that in, it'll pop up. You can enter it and it'll give you the whole caloric breakdown, number of calories, percent fat, percent carbohydrate, percent protein, and give you the whole nutritional analysis of that food.
In addition to helping users with their diets, 411 Fit also allows them to record their workouts, find new workouts, and see just how effective their daily routines are.
Another great aspect of the website is you can track not only your nutritional progress, but your exercise progress. So you can track it by cardio, you can track it by strength, you can even specifically track it by you performed bicep curls that day and how many repetitions you did and how much weight you lifted. So it's a great tool to track your progress, move towards your goals.
There's just a lot of reports you can do. You can find a lot of details. Because I used to write everything down when I worked out. Now I found out on the website it's a lot easier. In fact, what I do after I work out, I go right to the computer room and I log in all the exercise I do, and I walk and I do the bicycles and that. And when you start hitting the code, if you've done it before, it pops up what you did before. But that's what's really great about the program is once you start doing it, it's easy to do a copy, or your history comes up and you can just click on that.
Those involved with 411 Fit hope that more and more residents, staff members, and businesses will utilize the 411 Fit website and in turn start to lead healthier lives.
Well, I think it's just a great tool to use. It's easy to use, it's user-friendly, you can track your progress. If you're interested in meeting a specific goal, you can outline that goal. And again, it also gives a calendar of events in terms of the programming that we're offering through Healthy Dublin. So there's a lot of different features to the website that you can play around with and pick what works for you. But it's just a great way for us to get the health and fitness message out to those who live and work in Dublin.
So it's really a pretty neat website. It's very, if I can use it, anybody can use it, let's put it that way.
411 Fit is completely free to anyone in the city that wishes to use it. If you would like to sign up, log on to healthydublin.org. I stopped by a recent Dublin AM Rotary meeting to ask some of the members what their favorite city service is. Take a look. So I'm now here with, what's your name?
Claudia Trusty.
And Claudia, you're a Dublin resident, right?
I am.
Now, Claudia, if you had to say, what is your favorite service, city service that the city of Dublin provides, what would you say it is?
I think the thing that most impresses me is the quality and the abundance of parks around us. I love being able to have green space around where I live and work, and I really appreciate how well taken care of our property and parks are here.
Now, what are some of the things you do in the parks?
When my children were little, we would go there and play, but we walk around, we can walk the dog, and just sit. It's just a lovely place to be.
Now, who do you think likes the parks more, you or your dogs?
Dogs.
What's your name, sir?
Tim Redmond.
And are you a Dublin resident?
I am, yes.
Now, how long have you lived in the city of Dublin?
Since '87, so what, almost 24 years plus.
What would you say over the years is the best city service that the city has provided you?
I think one of the biggest things, I grew up in Upper Arlington, so I think one of the best things that I've seen around, whether it's service or not, is the green space, the bike path area, the opportunity for families to, get out and walk and take their kids and do that type of thing. I think Dublin stands out.
My favorite city service, the library, recycling.
Jack, how long have you lived in the city of Dublin?
Since 1978.
Wow, and we're getting a lot of people that have lived here for a long time. Why do you think people stay around Dublin for so long?
I think the quality of life, just being here, the way the city looks, the services, everything that gets done, it's just a great place to be.
What would you say your favorite city service has been? What have you appreciated the most?
The curbside chipper service. I use it probably twice a year. We have a woods and we do a lot of cleanup, and they have been great. They come out every year. They take away all the brush. They've been wonderful. So a thumbs up for the curbside city chipper service.
I can think of one last fall. I did a major cleanup around my house as far as brushes and twigs and everything. And I told my wife, I said, I don't want this stuff sitting out. Oh, all you have to do is call the city. And the city, I go, there's a lot of stuff out there. And within 2 days, it was gone. Unbelievable. And I think they even raked my yard where all the twigs and brush and pretty large pieces of lumber were. So that's just another example of how nice we have it here in Dublin. They take care of you that quick.
John, how long have you lived in the city of Dublin?
Almost 25 years.
And in those 25 years, if you had to pick one, you could list more if you want, but if you had to pick one city service that you've appreciated, what would it be?
Well, because I don't live on a main drag, snow removal has always been a big plus for us because they seem to be there within hours of a big snowstorm. So I really appreciate the fact that they're that diligent about it.
Well, 'tis the season. Let's say snow removal.
All right. Hey, although we haven't had to do much of that.
Well, it's still, you got to remember from years past, rain, sleet, or snow, those guys are always there. They get me to work on time, get the kids safe to school. So my hat's off literally to the good folks in the snow removal department.
All right, why don't you look right in the camera and give them your best heartfelt thanks.
Guys, thanks for being out all night and taking good care of us and cleaning those streets. We appreciate it.
Well, the city of Dublin will be saving a little bit more money at the pump this year and also helping the environment when they switch over to compressed natural gas vehicles. Here's more. Dublin has done many things throughout the years to make the city greener for its residents and staff. In keeping with that practice, the city recently converted 44 of its vehicles to be powered by compressed natural gas, a technology that will benefit Dublin as a whole as well as the environment.
Compressed natural gas is a renewable resource that we have readily available here in Central Ohio and several different states across the United States. Currently, we have 44 vehicles that are converted compressed natural gas. As soon as our compressed natural gas filling station is up and running, we'll be able to utilize those vehicles in various aspects of daily city services.
The vehicles that have been converted so far range from four-door sedans to trucks and will be utilized by most of the city's departments in a variety of ways.
Some of the vehicles that have been converted are Ford F-150 and 250 pickup trucks that will be used in our parks and open spaces throughout the city. We have a couple of vehicles that are Ford Fusions that will be used by various staff members throughout the city for just in general running their daily routines.
Converting these vehicles to run on compressed natural gas will benefit the city in two ways. The first being that this type of fuel is cheaper than the gasoline typically used in standard automobiles, and the second is that compressed natural gas is better for the environment, a fact that many in the city are excited about.
The compressed natural gas, with it being a renewable resource, we're able to reduce our carbon footprint just generally because of the lower emissions output that the natural gas has. It's the same gas that you heat your home with in the wintertime.
I think it's initially the cost savings that they're going to see over the next coming probably 10, 20 years. It's definitely the future for Ohio. Ohio's, in my opinion, got great resources for natural gas. Carbon footprint's going to be a lot less. And Dublin has always been on the cutting edge of technology.
In the months to come, the city will build its own CNG filling station that will allow its fleet as well as residents who are utilizing this technology to fill up. But for now, those in the city are proud to be doing their part to help the environment and save a little money while doing so. And now here's City Manager Marcia Grigsby with a special message.
Good customer service has been a long-time goal of Dublin City Council and the administration. We recognize that our focus and our reason for being is to provide quality city services as well as good customer services for those individuals who need assistance. Our job is to make sure that we provide the quality information that they need in order to go about their daily lives. One of the things City Council has always strived to do is to recognize the importance of the interaction with our community and our residents, and we've continued to focus on what we can do to provide better customer service. One of the things that we do on a regular basis is to do community satisfaction surveys, and we've been doing those for many, many years, and recently in 2010 we received a rating of 98% as far as satisfaction from our residents on the quality of services that they receive from our employees. In order to always continually improve, we recognize that we need to continue to focus on customer service and make sure we're aware of the importance of customer service. In 2011, we've started a program or a discussion where we focus on talking about what we do right, what we can do better, and what we need to make sure that we're continuing to look at the needs of our residents and those who call in and want assistance from us. Our front desk staff has been involved in those discussions currently, and we plan to expand that throughout the city. And it's been a very good process, and the employees have been very active and involved in the process, and we're hoping to come out with some standards that will be followed by all employees. Again, we recognize that customer service is something that gets talked about a lot anymore, and in a lot of cases it's bad customer service experiences, and our job is to make sure that we provide you with a good customer service. We want to provide opportunities and information to you that makes your life better, and we recognize we have many opportunities every day to help people live a better life in the city of Dublin.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of It's Happening in Dublin. As always, we appreciate you watching, and remember that you can go to our website at dublinohiousa.gov to view all DTV content as well as this episode of It's Happening in Dublin. And also remember, for the latest news and information on the City of Dublin, please go to our website and click on eNews Dublin. We'll see you next time.